So as expected, the WNBA owners gave the players a CBA they're not happy with. As expected, because let's be honest, it is straight up, like, the owners are not just going to go and give the players what they want, especially when right now it has been shown that this league, their growth has been exponential due to one player. Straight up, it has been absolutely exponential due to one player and one player only, and that's Caitlin Clark, with league-wide viewership down 55%, which is not great. Which is not great at all, if we're being honest. League-wide viewership being down 50%, 55% with Caitlin Clark gone, is not good in any way. So clearly, the players don't have the leverage that they want. Like, the players, there's one player that's not in those CBA negotiations. The one player that actually could get some change. And by the way, like, I don't think the Indiana Fever are going to do anything to help the rest of the league. I think the Indiana Fever know. I think the Indiana Fever know that I think the team and players know that the other teams hate them. And they also know that they're making a absolute fortune. Like, these players, whether you're Sophie Cunningham, whether you are Caitlin Clark's making 8 figures a year. Sophie Cunningham's making 7 figures a year. Lexi Hull's making 7 figures a year. Aaliyah Boston's making probably halfway to 8 figures. Sid Colson's probably going make herself like close enough to 7 figures this year. Natasha Howard, if she hoops, when you include her overseas salary, is probably making close to 7 figures this year. Like, I don't think people realize Kelsey Mitchell's easily made herself 7 figures this year. I don't think people realize how much money these Fever players are making in comparison to the rest of the league. And at the end of the day, what they need more so than anything is they absolutely need, like, Caitlin. And these players don't need their salaries. They need to be around, the Fever. And ironically, I think they're probably making more money than some of these other players and some of these deals that the league are trying to pull. And that, like, maybe being on the outs with the league is a good thing financially for them. But at the end of the day, if you guys have not seen, this was a response from Breanna Stewart. Stewart expressed frustration after the WNBPA received their first CBA negotiations. The WNBPA is negotiating for larger salaries, shares of league revenue, and improved conditions. And, like, larger salaries, yeah, right. Improved conditions, 100%. 100%. The Chicago Sky can't be allowed to keep doing what they're doing. They can't be allowed to keep doing what they're doing. It's actually ridiculous when it comes to Chicago Sky. It is absolutely ridiculous. But at the end of the day, like, they are what? They're one team. And the New York Liberty, ironically, team she plays for, don't have great conditions either. They just keep promising. They just keep saying, we're going to give you eventually, we're going to get you a new training facility. Never seems to happen. But see here, they're bleeding money every year. And I think the big problem with all this, the biggest problem, Caitlin's got to be in the room. She's the reason for the league to even be in position to make these asks. They're not going to put Caitlin in the room. She's not going to be in the room. And that's the thing. Use your wild card. They don't. Caitlin's not going to be the wild card. You do realize that Caitlin's negotiations are going to be separate. Like, we saw it last year when Caitlin was asking for spot bonuses and they said no. Caitlin's not going to negotiate on behalf of these players. Let's be honest. Caitlin spent a year, it seemed, trying to be liked by these players. And there's a difference between these players that respect her. There is a level of respect with these players in Caitlin Clark. I don't think they like her. I don't think they like Sophie Cunningham in general. And I think people that are teammates of Sophie Cunningham like Sophie Cunningham. I don't think if you're somebody who's never been a teammate of Sophie Cunningham, I think they all hate her. I think Aaliyah, you can see it with bigs in the league. Aaliyah Boston's not very well liked. Lexi Hull is Lexi Hull. They like Kelsey Mitchell. But you can see these teams don't like the Indiana Fever and they know it. So why would the Indiana Fever go out of their way? They're America's team. They're all making millions. Why would they go out of their way to try help something that's, I don't know, Caitlin Clark's salary goes from 70k to 90k? at the end of the day, just being a member of the Indiana Fever is going to make you so much. It's going to make you so much. But it is a pity. It's a pity. And I think the WNBA players, the problem with the shares of the league revenue is that what people don't understand is the NBA gets 50% of their league revenue. The WNBA does not own 100% of the league. The NBA owns 100% of the NBA. The WNBA owns 42% of the WNBA. The NBA owns 42, the WNBA owns 42. Or sorry, 41, and I think 18% is owned by outside investment. So they only own 41% of their league. So they get a 20% of league revenue, which is 50% of the revenue the WNBA gets. They get the exact same revenue split as the NBA players. The problem is that, again, it's just not it's just realistically they're not in a position of leverage. They're not in a position of leverage at all. And realistically, they can be in a situation where they could negotiate something in their CBA in 2 years' time. They can negotiate something so that in 2 years' time they can renegotiate, and you can say, look, yeah, we'll agree. Obviously, look, you clap back, you renegotiate. You don't just come out, they kind of just ignored everything we said. Yeah. They don't, like, these players don't have leverage. They think they have leverage. Like, ironically, these owners lose less money. These owners lose less money by the season not going ahead. They lose less money by the season not going ahead. Unless they plan on literally selling their team in the next year, like the Connecticut Sun. They benefit by this league not going ahead for a year. Like, the owners can afford to lose the money, but do they want to? Do they want to go and lose the money? Like, some of these billionaire owners can't afford to do that, but do they want to? That's the real question. But yeah, it's all around a interesting situation. But this is the craziest part is they kind of just ignored everything we said. These players do not realize they don't have any leverage. And that's not saying the players don't deserve more money, because with the viewership the players are pulling in, they do. And that is very, very specifically two teams. The Valkyries due to their attendance and the Indiana Fever due to their TV numbers and attendance. There are two teams. Yes, does Breanna Stewart deserve to make more than 200K a year? Yeah. Yeah, she does. Does Jewel Lloyd deserve to make $250,000 a year playing basketball? Probably not. And the problem is with everything in basketball, with American sports, with the way their CBAs work, the top players will never get what they're worth. But there's going to be a lot of players that get overpaid based on the revenue they bring in. And look, at the end of the day, for everybody saying that these players make way more money overseas, it depends on who you are. Like, Gabby Williams makes more money because she has an EU passport. She has an EU passport and she's an all-star. Stewie makes more money because she's a star, and billionaires in Turkey just want to pay them. And billionaires again in Russia wanted to pay her for years. So at the end of the day, like, that's where she's making the money. But I don't think the players realize that the league is currently losing a crap load of money. It lost 40 million. The league lost 50 million last year, and it's going to lose probably close to 70, 80 million this year. Especially when you take into account the extra money spent on advertising, everything, the TV deal hasn't kicked in. They're going to lose 70 or 80 million this year. And I'm very confident that the WNBA is going to be profitable within 2 or 3 years. But the WNBA being profitable in 2 to 3 years means you renegotiate when it's profitable. You're not in good negotiating power when you are negotiating at the worst spot the league has ever been in financially. And I know they have the new TV deal coming up, but we've seen in French football that TV deals can be pulled at any time. They can be pulled at any time. Like a lot of French football teams have gone bankrupt because they have made deals. They've made financial decisions based on a TV deal that got pulled. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, there's going to be a lockout, lads. There's going to be a lockout.